Oh, guys, good, you're here. I am so excited. Guess what?
I hope this isn't about your podcast again.
Why, did you finally listen to it?
I came in like a wrecking ball.
The Groomer Next Door is recorded in front of a live studio audience. Welcome to the Groomer Next Door. You're listening to my mommy and daddy.
And now our feature presentation.
And he is your host, my mommy and daddy, Chris and Stella Green.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us on the Groomer Next Door episode number 90. Woo-hoo. I am your co-host, Chris Green. Sitting next to me is the smoke-free Sarah.
Hello.
Well, for starters, congratulations on 11 weeks smoke-free and not going back.
So far, so good.
You were asked about it the other day because our coffee house that we like to go to is right next to the smoke shop. And it was so funny because they look at it and they go, "We haven't seen you in forever. We thought something was wrong."
Nope,
all's well.
Just quit.
You know, it's funny because whenever you think about something like that, it's like going past a bar. You know,
where everybody knows your name.
You're right. And you were an alcoholic maybe, and they go, "Hey, why don't you come on in for a drink?" And you're like, "No, I'm actually recovering. I'm a recovering addict." I was having a Simpsons moment right there.
It was kind of funny actually because the last time I was in there was to get a pack of cigarettes for $1.
Yep.
After buying like 23 cigarettes, you get one pack for $1 plus tax. So
You make it sound like so much. Like 2,300 cigarettes later, I finally got a cigarette for free.
So, I went in there and they gave me that pack for $1. I was excited. I'm like, woo! I just saved like $4.
Yeah, it took you forever to fill up this card.
Yeah, because it wasn't my regular place I went to get cigarettes. I was at the gas station at my regular place. But every Friday when we went to have coffee, I went and picked up a pack of smokes right there. And
To my surprise,
when I picked up that last pack of cigarettes, I never smoked it. That $1 pack of cigarettes that I worked very hard to get to ended up not being smoked by me. I gave it to my brother.
Yeah, it was weird.
I kept it there. It was there for like a week.
I was
just in case I couldn't get through my first week.
I told you, I says I would have kept it. I would have kept it, put it up somewhere, and been like, that was my last pack of cigarettes I ever bought.
Yeah, no, I don't want that. I don't want that temptation. I have a hideaway cigarette at work that I put in there just in case I can't get to the gas station and I need it. Like if you had the car or it was snowy and we couldn't get to a gas station beforehand, you know, something along those lines. I had a backup cigarette. Well, I finally threw that out too.
Stories of an addict.
I know, right? No more standing out in the blistering cold, shaking while I'm having a cigarette, and no more standing out in the rain while I'm having a cigarette.
I do miss I've said this probably every time we talk about it. I miss the going outside, especially during summer. You know, you go outside, the dogs are going to the bathroom or running around the yard, and it's cool, but I won't miss it during the winter when there's snow and -degree weather and you're just like, why am I out here? Or putting on a million layers of clothes to go outside. So
I got to the point where that's why I wore my toe socks, is because I didn't have to go digging for my shoes. I could just put my flip-flops on.
Toe socks.
With my toe socks.
Flip-flops, -degree weather, and about many feet of snow. Yeah.
I was good with my pajama bottoms, the pajama pants. Those are pretty good.
That was so
funny. They kept me relatively warm, but when you're a smoker, you lose some of your feelings, so it really didn't matter to me. But it's nice to know that I don't have to go through that anymore, that my life isn't dictated by whether or not am I going to be somewhere long enough to have a cigarette. We're planning on going on a vacation soon to California. And, that's a 6-hour flight.
It is, yeah, it's a long flight.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's 6 hours where I'm going to have to go without a cigarette. Or going into Disneyland. there's only, so many, smoking spots. Okay, well, we're going to have to plan the trip around where my designated smoking areas are.
And
now I don't have to. It's so awesome.
I just heard about this. There are a lot of airports now that no longer have, you've been to a few of them, that little room like in San Francisco, that one glass room and it's all smoke. Those are no longer around. They're taking them out. I think
less and less people are smoking.
Well, they're actually making it harder for people to do it. So I think I heard it was either Seattle. I think is what I think it was. They're keeping it, but they're one of the last airports that are apparently having these smoke rooms. So yeah, weird, right? All right. Well, let's dive into this week. So this week we're gonna recap our weekly roundup. We of course have our GND news. You've been a real fixture this week in putting this episode together. You've come up with a lot this week. You have the main story of the week, which is dog emergency wallet cards. I couldn't get that last part out. So it was really cool. I never even thought about something like this. So it was kind of cool. So let's dive into the weekly roundup.
The weekly roundup. Yeehaw.
As I was saying to Sarah, this is actually one of Claire's favorite sound bites. She loves hearing that weekly roundup thing. She actually will say it. So whenever she hears it, she repeats it. It's always so funny. All right. So this week on our weekly roundup, OMG WTF. I don't even want to even start. There's no LOL with that one.
The only part that, I knew this from the beginning because I went through it myself, but grooming is not for everybody. And
What are you trying to say? Are you trying to fire me now?
No.
Oh, whew. I thought I was getting fired on my own show.
No. People come in, and most people give it a little bit.
Be delicate. This is Sarah being delicate.
We gotta give them a little bit to really get into the whole grooming process and how, this isn't like any other job. It's actually difficult.
Oh my gosh.
This
to
is
say
actually
the least.
a very hard job and not for everybody. And unfortunately, our bather that started out so promising, this job just wasn't for her. The speed that is needed, the pain tolerance that's needed, the ability to hurry but yet still do a thorough job, some people can't do.
Catching the minute details.
Right, and sometimes it's great to go slow and be absolutely in-depth and thorough, but you got to do that with some kind of speed. You can't do it, you can't work on 3 dogs a day and make a living. I wish we could, but unless
my body wishes we could.
Well, I mean, if we charged about $100 a dog, or close to $100 a dog, we could do it.
Right.
Or, make sure an average dog is about, $80 a piece. The only way you're going to get that pricing is if you're in the Hollywood Hills.
Or Malibu.
Or somewhere in, the ritzy area, Massachusetts, stuff like that. And then
Hamptons.
And then at that, cost of living so high, it's like doing a $40 dog. So there really is no way of making $100 off a dog. But anywho, so it's been a little bit of a struggle the past couple weeks with understanding the need for the dog grooming. An average bather, and if there's any groomers out there, any bathers listening to it, I'm pretty sure you're shaking your head. Yup. Most bathers do anywhere between 8 to 15 to 16 dogs a day.
Now, when you say the 15 to 16, they are not going to be your very large dogs.
No.
Your Yorkies, your Shih Tzus.
And then large dogs are easy, like Labradors, Golden Retrievers that aren't the care.
If you're doing D shit on a Golden Retriever.
But just regular bath, brush, ears, and nails.
Right.
You can get... I can do a ton of labs, bath, brush, ears, and nails in a single day and not break a sweat.
Well, you'll break a sweat, but
no.
If you had 6 of them, you would.
No, I'm sorry. No.
I would have a little bit of sweat.
No, that is easy peasy. and it's like doing 15 chihuahuas in a day. That is easy peasy.
That sounds so nice.
But
oh, that sounds so nice.
In the area that we live in, we don't have that luxury. We have Bernese Mountain Dogs. We have Newfoundlands. We have a lot of Great Pyrenees dogs. We have a lot of Huskies, a lot of German Shepherds, So we don't expect the full 16 dogs a day.
Right.
But it really needed to be closer to at least 10 to 12 dogs a day.
When you're looking at a groomer holding between 7 and 8 dogs a day, and then you're required to bring in at least 4 bath brush nails on your own, and you're looking at about a 12 dog day, and one or two a day are going to be larger dogs.
Right, and
it's called work.
Well, that's another thing, is that it depends what kind of bather you are. If you're bathing just for a groomer, then you don't typically have to worry about nails and ears and stuff like that. The groomer handles it. At least that's what I do. The bather just handled just bathing and blow drying the dog, making sure the dog is fluffy.
Right.
I handle the rest. That was it. And then she was going to take on a couple of her own dogs where she does nails, the brush out, and the ears. The finishing work should take 20 minutes. For a good 15-minute brush out, and 5 minutes for nails and ears. That doesn't take long. But again, this job isn't for everybody. This isn't a simple, easy, I get to play with dogs all day, I get to go play with the kittens all day. No, this is a really difficult job, and I've seen a lot of people not handle it. I mean, she handled it a lot longer than some of the other people I've seen.
You've seen people wash out, get it, washing, you're a bather. I more or less...
This one person.
I usually go with this. This one ended up down the toilet.
The one that always sticks out was back in my second year of grooming, or third year of grooming. Jeff had a psycho-aggressive chow on his table. That he was able to do it properly. The dog was safe. Everything was fine. But the dog was all teeth. And the new bather was sitting there reading through her books.
I think you mentioned this on previous episodes.
I don't know, but I'm going to say it again just in case someone didn't catch it. But
I always say repeat a good story.
So she's sitting there, she's doing her books, and all of a sudden the dog takes its first bite. And the bite wasn't just, arr. No, it was vicious growling, and then you heard the teeth smack against each other. And then Jeff laughing because he just dodged a bullet. And if you don't have a sense of humor, then you're just going to be eaten up alive.
Literally.
So, yeah. So most people that get dogs that snap at them, they start laughing right after because it's either laugh or get scared. So Jeff started laughing, and I'm
Never
laughing.
get scared when you have an aggressive dog.
Exactly. And then when dogs can feed off that. That was another problem with the bather, is that she showed a lot of fear.
Yes.
And dogs took control of that.
Right. You have to remain alpha in every aspect.
And she made a comment one time. I went over to a dog, and the dog stood still for me. She says, "You're like the dog whisperer." I'm like, "No, I just don't let the dogs control."
Right.
But so this other bather, way back when, it was time for her to go on her lunch. So she asked the salon manager if she can go, and she put her stuff all nice and neat on the table, and she went to lunch. Well, our lunches were only 30 minutes. An hour goes by. And we're like, "Where's the new girl? Where's the new girl?" And then an hour and a half goes by, and I called the salon manager, because she was in the meeting, and I said, "The new girl's not back yet. It's been an hour and a half." So finally, the salon manager calls the new girl, and the new girl goes, "I quit. I don't want to be anywhere near dogs that bite that hard."
What do you think you're getting into with this?
She didn't even tell us that she quit when she took off on lunch.
That's the thing that I don't think anybody understands. Your sweet, loving dog may not be so sweet and loving when it's at the groomer. This is one of those stories or lessons, I guess would be better to say, that really exemplifies what happens. Your sweet dog doesn't know that you're not the owner. Some people are very, beta, and I don't know why they're groomers, or even bathers for that matter. But you can't be beta when you have a dog. They know, and they will take control. And to make an example here, dogs that run amok at home will take advantage of their owners because their owners are beta. They will let the dog get away with everything until the owner then starts the discipline. The disciplinary area of working with your dog shows that you're becoming alpha. And it's so funny to watch people, oh, my sweet little Pookie, and it could be the worst dog ever, rah, 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 all over the place. Oh, it's okay, he's sweet. Well, that's because you're beta. You are letting your dog do whatever they want to do, and you're just thinking it's okay. No, it's a child. It's a 3-year-old mentality child. You cannot do this. You want to do it with a kid?
Yeah.
So it's always, it always gets me laughing. One thing that we always say is never bounce groomer to groomer to groomer. Keep stability. You want to make sure it's just like your kid going to school. It's going to have the same teacher all year. It's the same thing. You got to have stability with dogs. This previous train wreck, she just failed in so many aspects as a bather, and yet she gave off. See, I'm different. You're sweet. I'm sour. You wanted to progress to be a groomer with no experience, no knowledge, nothing.
The part was that, oh my gosh, she started out such a high.
I'm in grooming school when this happened, and I even said to you, you're putting way too much emphasis on this chick.
No, she was getting dogs done. They were getting clean. They were being handled well. They were getting fluffy.
A new broom, honey. A new broom sweeps well.
But she was just,
or sweep clean.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And I told Keith, I don't know how many times, I said, look, she's going to probably be your next groomer if you want your third groomer. She can do it. It is amazing. And then the place was spotless.
For like 2 weeks.
For 2 weeks.
And then the wheels on the bus.
Yep.
They came off.
They came flying off.
Flying. I don't know how many times I had to pick up after her, take her days.
It crashed from there. But
for those folks
who think that grooming is going to be an awesome, I'm just going to go and bathe a couple dogs a week and have a part-time job. That's not the case. I'm looking at my arm and I got this massive bruise.
It's terrible.
This bruise is ugly.
Oh my! And I got tore up by that dog because it would be playful or jumping about.
I don't normally bruise.
Yeah, that was weird.
And this one's a bad bruise. It hurt. I got another bruise on my outside of my thigh. Oh my gosh, it hurt so bad. Where the dog just dug his foot in and nailed me.
Ugh.
But you got to realize that this job is very difficult and there's a high risk of danger. The better you are, the lower the risk of danger. With you and I doing it, the only danger we have is whether or not our back's going to go out.
Well, that's the other part about this week. Yeah, right? This week was our very last 6-day week. We were so happy to end this long, crazy path of work that we've been going through lately. You looked in the books this week, and you noticed that we actually have worked the last 9 out of 10 Saturdays in a row.
I saw that. I was like, no.
So that
There's
means
no way.
The last time Sarah and I have had 2 days off was 4th of July weekend.
And that was forced because we're closed on.
We were closed. Yeah, there was nothing else to be done. So before that, we had gone however many weeks that was, then 4th of July off, which was 2 days off, and I can't even imagine how good that felt. And then from there on out, we've gone straight through, and this Saturday was our last one to do, and oh my gosh, I cannot tell you how exhausted, sore, and wiped out we are. I don't even know where to go with that. It was kind of difficult too because the beta quit without real warning. That was the hard part about this.
And I booked dogs to where you had your set. Since you're back from grooming school, you should be working on your own set. And then I had my set. Well, the beta did, wash my dogs and you took care of your own. And she had a couple of hers. Well, that wasn't working out very well for her, and she didn't quite care for that. So she ended up.
Well, and I had already said that she wasn't going to touch my dogs.
Yeah, we already kind of announced that, and later on when you start building up more dogs, then she would have to build up and start bathing the 12 dogs.
Right.
Or close to it.
Right.
And then we said that we would jump in and wash a couple of our own dogs if she had her dogs. We had it worked out. I mean, when I was a bather, I did 16 dogs, and it didn't matter what size they were.
True.
And then if I was on a 6-hour shift, I did 12 dogs,
But
$2 an hour.
you were a different specimen when it came to being a groomer, though. I mean, I cannot.
I felt like I was born to groom.
I've tried all year so far to try to be you, try to walk in your shoes, and that's the difficult side. I don't feel like I'm not at your ability. You are literally a breed of your own. I mean, you're amazing, and it's hard for me because going through all this, I'm kind of going, oh my gosh, I want to be at your level then, but you were definitely way amazing. You had a better. I still say you had a really good education. I liked how yours went.
So too.
Yours went a little bit, a lot better than mine. I felt like you had a different way about yours, but you had it. You had a different run, but yeah, this week. I mean, poor Craig. He had a pickup after.
Oh, poor Craig.
Oh, he got.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, he
I
got
forgot
hurt.
about that. Craig got so messed up. Oh my gosh. No, Craig, he is a shave down groomer, and he's totally fine with doing just shave downs, and customers know it, and Keith has it arranged, so I don't have to do.
Yeah, he's not a breed cut type groomer.
Exactly. Then my specialties can be focused on special breeds.
Right.
And then he can get the shave downs, the de-sheds. He can take care of pretty much anything except for any kind of real technical cut. Works out real well. Well, he had 3 dogs of his own that day.
Yep.
And one was a shave down, and the other 2 were de-sheds.
Yes,
Well,
but the problem was
then-
his next case of dogs were the worst.
Well, see, then what was supposed to happen is that I marked it in our books to where the bather was only going to have to deal with, small dogs for me. And if I remember correctly, it was only like
I don't remember the dogs.
But anyhow, she had 2 Bernese Mountain Dog D-sheds to
Right.
do.
Those were on her book. Those would have been for her to actually make money on.
Exactly, and bring in money into the shop, pull in her own weight. Well, then you didn't get it, did you?
I did.
So
I got it. That would actually take a lot, though.
Then, after she would do her own Bernese Mountain Dogs, I was going to help with the afternoon dogs. And so she walked out and quit on the spot.
Yeah, she quit on the spot, and that was the BS version of it.
And
Knowing what she
well,
had.
it was the fact that she had another interview somewhere else that she was hoping to get hired onto, and Keith and I and Laura actually prayed that she would get the job too. So that's another little smack inside our heads, is because we actually prayed that she got this job.
And she didn't. There's no way.
And then
Difference
all she
about
had to
this
do,
is I
and
actually will say
Keith
how I feel.
and I actually spoke in front of her. She said she would finish out the week,
Yeah.
and she couldn't even finish out the week.
Yeah, she actually didn't even
So-
finish out her last dog. You had to finish out her actual last dog, the German Shepherd.
Oh yeah, because she took off without. Yeah,
Yep,
that was.
she-
She knew she was going to quit before she walked in that day.
Yeah.
So she dialed it in pretty hard. Anywho, and so poor Craig, after doing 3 of his own dogs, because he comes in and he does split shift. He comes in the morning and he grooms. And then he'll come in the afternoon and do the closing and feeding the dogs, walking the
Full
dogs,
kennel.
Full kennel duties. Well, this time he had to have somebody come in because those 2 Bernese Mountain Dogs were his then.
Yeah,
wasn't
because
gonna
I
do
couldn't.
it.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I screwed up my back because she couldn't finish her last German Shepherd.
And those great peers from the previous week, they wrecked me.
Yeah,
So yeah.
It was insane.
Yeah, he got knocked around. We now this week we had Princess, and we had our big noof. So we actually
and we had our ginormous golden noodle.
Oh my
Buster.
gosh, I forgot about that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this week we actually had some very heavy lifting this week. Now we usually with our noof and Princess, they don't normally come in on the same week. It's I think it's 3 or 4.
Every 4 months they come in on the same.
Yeah.
Every 4 grooming appointments.
Yeah,
they come in on the
I
same.
was gonna say 4 grooming. So it's almost kind of like that rarity, and it was kind of like that. You know, the bather would have walked out just for that alone because they didn't want any big dogs. They wanted to dictate what dogs were going to come in, opposed to actually do what was being told, or what was on books. So I imagine they would have quit for that one too. But yeah, it was the lifting this week was insane. Physically, we're both absolutely feeling it to a very high degree. Oh boy. And then of course we get socked with another piece of sad news this week.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You know, we usually don't. We've done it only once before. We don't usually bring down the show by talking about people who have passed away. It's not normally part of our show, but there are certain people that they touch you in a way that you have to remember them and what they brought to the salon and what they brought in for you. And this woman, she brought a lot to us. I mean, she was a very sweet woman, definitely passed before her time. And you know, I'm going to read something from her eulogy, and then we're going to talk about it because it is part of our weekly roundup. So Claire, play the soft music for us, or sad music for me. Wanda Smith of Doolittle, Missouri, passed away Thursday, August 6, 2015 at the age of 65. She was born on January 27, 1950 in Waynesville, Missouri, to Theodore Smith and Wanda Smith. She was preceded in death by her father, Ted Smith. Wanda was employed by the Rolla Municipal Utilities for 31 years. She was a member of the Fort Wyman Baptist Church. She enjoyed playing the piano, collecting glassware and bells, and was appreciative of nature. She will be sadly missed by her surviving family, which includes her mother, June, of Doolittle, many cousins, extended family, and friends. She was especially loved by her dog, Jake. All right, so Wanda Smith. Now, there's a very long backstory that I'm going to minimize and jump in on it whenever I make a mistake or if you want to add something to it. So we ended up meeting Wanda about a year and a half ago. She came in, and she has a real awesome dog named Jake, which you ended up calling him Jake from State Farm. We've talked about Jake in previous podcasts. He was not groomer friendly. He had very bad experiences with the previous groomer, and Sarah and I we've had to rehab him to actually make it so that he enjoys going to the groomer. On top of which, we've helped change his diet a little bit as well. We told a story a while back ago. His treat was greenies, but he has a wheat, corn, soy, just like most dogs, allergy. And we went to WPVS last year. We did the recording from that one, and the owner of Tropiclean gave us new treats that were just like greenies, and it worked for him. Since his diet has changed, his hair has grown back. His demeanor is completely a 180. He's so sweet, so loving. But the whole story started with Wanda came in one day. She had an incident with the previous groomer, and the groomer had pretty much cursed her out in a sense.
Yeah, it wasn't Wanda having the incident. Wanda wasn't the cause of
No.
it. It was the groomer.
Yeah, it was the groomer having an incident. She didn't want
And why anybody would have anything ill to say about Wanda is beyond me.
Right.
Wanda is one of the so sweet.
She was so wonderful. I mean, even the early days working with Jake. Now Jake will bite you. Jake is just like the story that you had mentioned with that one dog that
Jeff had.
Yeah, thank you. Just like that.
Well, his skin hurt.
Yeah, his skin did. Yeah.
His feet hurt. His skin hurts. His ears hurt. He's got lots of hair all over. He has to be on a special diet and all this other stuff. And
but one of the things is that the previous groomer was very hard on him, even though he had all these ailments, was very rough on him, and unfortunately he felt that. So we've had to work with it. So Wanda came in, gave you a chance to actually see if it would work out. You guys hit it off because she's so sweet. We found out on Thursday that she had passed away, and Keith was going to go to the actual service and asked if we were going to go, and we definitely went and paid our respect. Only reason why I wanted to actually shift the show over to this degree is because we've lost 2 customers this year that you don't look at them as customers. You look at them as they're inspirations in your own current life. Their dogs, they bring something that we carry outside of the shop. I mean, we're always talking about Zeg. We're always talking about Jake. Those are dogs that actually they inspire us in different ways. So to lose 2 people with dogs that are so inspirational to us, it's definitely rough. So I definitely wanted to bring that and post that in this episode and have a moment for her, because just an amazing woman.
I mean, even on her eulogy, it was talked about how Wanda loved Jake.
Yes.
Wanda loved Jake. It didn't matter who Jake was. Jake could have done everything wrong, and Wanda would have loved him no matter what. And because of that, she treated us just the same, because she knew that we loved Jake.
Yes.
And she knew that we treated him well. And we treated her well. And, I mean, just a sweetheart. She would come up and ask how Claire's doing. And she would remember from the last time I said something about Claire. And we would engage in a conversation. I never rushed to see her, or rushed through seeing her.
Right.
I could be an hour and a half behind. She wants to talk for 20 minutes. I'm talking to her for 20 minutes. Everybody else can wait.
Right.
And it was the same thing with Zega's mom when she passed.
Right.
Jan was just an amazing woman, and I just enjoyed talking to them.
Right.
All their knowledge, all their experiences.
And there's wonderful women. When I found out that Wanda was only 65, it was so sad to go so young. She had health conditions, but
what's nice now is that she's no longer in pain.
Right.
I know she battled with pain on a daily basis, and now she doesn't have to worry about it now. Now I'm worried about Jake.
Yeah, he's going through depression. Zeg went through depression as well, and luckily we saw Zeg this week, and she's doing great now. But it was something that took her a long time to get over too. And for all of you, dogs go through depression. Some come out of it.
Yeah, it took a lot.
It took a long time
for Zeg to get over hers. She was bad. I mean,
very bad.
That was like the worst depression I've seen a dog go through.
We actually have it filmed. It's on a video podcast that we've yet to be able to record. We just haven't had the time to record on it, and we will release that video. We'll let everybody know when it's going to happen. But that was an example of a dog that honestly I thought was going to will itself to die, and luckily Zeg was able to pull out. And
luckily, she still had her dad and her other animals that she lives with, and she got through it. And it took 3 groomings for her to actually pull through it. And this last time, she was just like, yay!
Yeah, she was finally back to her way.
I missed you guys, and kisses and love and pawing and nuzzling, and you know, when a newfie licks the side of your face, it's your entire face.
It is your face. So yeah, I just, you know, again, we're real people we're just real people. We're not, you know, fake people. We're not just people that are making up things on a podcast. We're really doing this stuff on a daily basis, and you know, it's definitely something that I think makes this show unique, is that we're sharing with you guys all over the world what goes on in our daily life. And it's always cool to hear, you know, from all of our listeners, but this is our life. This is our life recorded.
We get close to our customers.
Yeah, we do.
You know, we get closer to the dogs, but...
And this is where it's like, you're not only important for what's in your wallet, you're actually important for who you are. And I think that that's what separates us from everyone out there, is that we care about the person and not the contents of their wallet. All right, so that was our weekly roundup, and it was colossal.
Not very much. A lot went on this week.
I couldn't remember anymore. So, all right, let's dive into this week's GND news. All right, so this week on GND News, we have two funny stories. The first one is a debate that we're going to have about service animals. I think this one's kind of cut and dry. I know I have already got my predisposed opinion, but that's just me. And the second story of the week, I'm pretty sure you've all seen it. It was highly trending on Facebook this week. There were two pups in a shelter that were hugging, and the caption was something like, these two dogs just found out that they're next in line to be euthanized, which I think was a little bit off the rails to have said, but you know, anyway, there's a conclusion to their story, and it, you know, nice.
Yeah, it was like their hugging saved their lives or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So you know, we'll actually, you know, kind of put a conclusion on that story for you guys if you haven't heard about it. If you have, then hey, cool. So anyway, let's dive into, it was actually a local story here in Missouri. I don't know where this, leave it up to Missouri, right? Leave it up to Missouri to have the weirdest of all stories. But I'm going to play some first-hand accounts from people that were there at the restaurant, and then we're going to discuss. All right, Claire, play that clip.
We had just gotten our meal, and in walks this lady and man, and the lady had the snake around her neck first, and it started to slither off of her neck down into the booth behind her. She was pulling it, and I just started trembling, and we got to get out of here. We got to get out of here.
They say the woman handed it across the table to the man when Lisa snapped this picture and immediately expressed her concern to their server.
The manager came over to us and said it was his service animal, and so we have to allow him to stay. So that's when my mom and I and the girls decided that we would not stay.
El Puente's manager says he allowed the snake to stay because of the man's claim, but Lisa doubted it and approached the man before she left.
He said, no, it's my service animal, and I'm allowed to have it because it helps me with my depression. So I said, well, I'm very sorry about that, but a snake in a restaurant probably is not the best thing. And he said, well, it's no different than having a dog service animal sitting here. And I said, well, a little bit it is.
The ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act, in 2011 defined service animals as a dog only. So if somebody says they have a service monkey, a service cat, or a service snake, ADA only defines it as dogs.
Finney says the snake posed a concern for public safety, and had they been called, Nixa Police or Animal Control would have responded.
Management just didn't know what to do because they didn't want to violate anybody's rights, and that's understandable, but the patron could have then called 911. It doesn't have to be the restaurant that does that.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
All right, so let's start with your opinion on this situation. I mean, now you love snakes. We are different on this one. I don't like anything that crawls on its belly, but it kind of creeps me out. Snakes creep me out. But what's your take on this?
A service animal is just that, an animal. Snake is a reptile. You know, it's there's people out there that love spiders, and if I see a ginormous spider on a table next to me where I'm eating, I am gonna flip. You know, there's arachnid right there. I'm sorry. Phobia, you know, and some people have, I'm not sure what the phobia for reptiles are, but some people have phobias of snakes. But, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing a snake wrapped around some guy's neck.
I've seen it before. I've seen it many a times before. When
I had Bojangles, that's where she sat. She sat right around my neck. And, I would much rather see a snake next to me than a dog in a restaurant.
Nope, I'll take a dog.
Dogs have dander. They have fur that flies. All they need to do is get one tickle in their ear and they shake, and all of a sudden dander's flying everywhere, getting in your food. You have to trust that they're keeping that dog up on their flea and tick treatments. And you have to make sure the dog doesn't have worms. You know, that they're keeping the dog up to date and vetted, basically. Make sure they're constantly going to the veterinarian and checking everything's okay. A snake, the worst thing that they have is mites that, okay, well, the guy has now. You know, there's dirtier people out there in the world that go to restaurants. But
and here is why we don't go to restaurants that often. For the fact that other people are making your food and you don't really know what's going on or what they're like. Yeah, that's another reason why we don't eat out a lot.
And if we do, it's at a very well-known area that is or has a rating on their door.
See, this is where we, you know, I guess maybe in a sense we were kind of brought up into the rating system. See, Southern California, I think they were the first ones to do all that.
Yeah.
And I don't really see that much out this way. I do, but not as much.
And then, and also, I've ate out roach coaches. Man, some of the best foods come out of a roach coach.
That is true.
So I can't say I'm completely stickler on it, and I can't say that it's more disgusting having a dog sitting next to you that just shook its head versus some Joe Schmo in the back that's getting over a cold preparing your food.
Hope you guys aren't sitting in a restaurant right now listening to the podcast, because if you are, you probably have just sent your food back.
So, I mean, I don't know what's the big deal about it. I'm pretty sure it was just a baby ball python, you know, like Bojangles, just like Bojangles. Bojangles isn't going to come up and just strike somebody. It's not a damn copperhead. It's not some kind of king cobra. You know, it's not it's not a rattler. It's not a king snake or whatever you want to call them.
I'm gonna actually, I guess maybe in a sense, I'm going to go a little bit of a different way on this one. I hate the ADA's approach to this. If you don't know what the ADA stands for, it's the Americans with Disabilities Act law. I don't like the fact that they only what's the word I'm looking for here? They only recognize dogs. I don't think that that's actually legitimately correct. You know what? If your monkey is actually your service animal, I can actually go with it if it's trained correctly. Now, this guy actually said that this snake actually helps him with depression, and I'm going to give him this. I will actually let him have that. Now, the part that I actually will, you know, I will stop it is the fact that they're passing the snake between each other at the table. I can see where that would be a little unnerving. If I was sitting behind him, I guarantee I would have changed to another table, but that's because I'm not a big snake fan.
Sissy.
Yes.
I wouldn't care.
Yeah,
as long as it's not shedding, I'm fine.
Again, just like Indiana Jones, I don't really do snakes. But the
it still reminds me. Still remember the time where Bojangles got out of her cage.
Oh God.
And her a tank, and she was coiled up in my
closet.
My closet, and I was like, no, there was a hole
I'm
in my
sleeping on the
screen.
floor because we're just starting out.
We were engaged at this point.
Yes, but I wasn't sleeping in your bed. I was sleeping.
you're
I was on the floor, and yeah.
But I swore up and down Bojangles got out of the window because there was a hole in my screen. I'm like, no, she slithered out. She's gone. She's gone forever.
This was an argument that we had for 2 weeks.
And Chris was like, no, I hear movement. I hear movement. I'm like, there is no movement.
She thought I was psychotic.
Yeah, I was like, what am I getting myself into here? And sure enough, he decided to go exploring, and there was Bojangles underneath my blanket.
Yeah, I finally found him, and I was done.
I was like, ah, man, now I gotta get her because she hasn't eaten in 2 weeks.
Yeah, we just told this story a few weeks ago. I remember it. But yeah, I'll give the guy the fact that it could be, definitely something with depression. That it makes him feel better. I'm not going to say that you can go and pass it around in a restaurant. I have seen people with a snake at coffee houses, in restaurants. I've seen it. You don't call 911 and call an emergency contact number for the police who are actually saving your butts pretty much. Hi, I'm at a restaurant and there's a person with a snake. Send a car right now. That was just kind of a stupid statement.
A snake can be extremely calming.
I don't know how, but I'll give your word for it.
Right here. You have a dog, okay? And now remind you folks, I am a dog fanatic. I have 3 of my own. I'm a dog groomer for the past 10 years, or 11 years now. And I love dogs. But a dog gets very hyper, gets playful, has to have a way to get their energy out. A snake does not.
No, it's looking at you like you're food.
No, it's not.
Every time it looks at me, it's like I'm gonna eat you.
It gradually moves. It moves so.
That scares me.
smooth.
Yeah, that scares me.
The fluid motion.
Have you ever seen them attack? It's quick.
Yes, I have. I fed Bojangles.
Yes, it's so smooth and so subtle until it attacks and then all of a sudden, wow, and it's got you.
You're like 150 times its size.
And
it's
yet,
not going to attack you.
And yet, I still think it's going to eat me.
It'll strike if you don't feed it.
Nope, pass.
And you got to make sure you put it in something different to feed it so that, they don't think they're getting fed inside their own tank.
Pass.
Anywho, but if it's just hanging out around your neck and you're sitting there and you're patting it, that's soothing. You ever seen a girl play with their hair? They're just sitting there staring off the space, and all they're doing is twirling their hair.
Yeah.
That's all they're doing. It's the same thing.
Okay.
I mean,
I'll take your word.
It's an act of soothing.
I will go and buy me a leather belt, a snakeskin belt, and I'll pet that, and I'll just take your word for it on that, because that's as close as I will ever get to
my
it.
thing is, you bring a dog into a restaurant because you have anxiety or.
Well, I'm not saying that dogs are the only service
I'm
animals.
just saying. You bring a dog into a restaurant. You can't exactly play with it because you're in a restaurant. You pet it, that gives chance to hair flying in people's food.
I'll give you that one.
Is like you said, there's no point to call 911 over a snake wrapped around a person's neck.
The reactions of the people were a little bit funny.
I had an iguana. Her name was Tripod. Tripod sat on top of my head with her tail wrapped around my neck for stability.
I can just see King of the Hill
and
right there.
Was,
King of the Hill episode
no,
with
it's not
Bill
Eleanor.
Jones.
Tripod was prettier than Eleanor.
Lenore!
So I was outside sweeping up, cleaning, and doing my summer job with Tripod wrapped around me. Some lady freaked out because she thought it was some kind of funky hat because I was a teenager. Teenagers do funny things. So I had this funky hat on until Tripod moved her head and looked at her. The lady screamed and then filed a complaint.
Did Tripod ever pee on you?
My dad peed and pooed all straight down her back. She was stocked up, so we gave her nice warm baths and stuff to help. And finally, she let loose all down my dad's back. Oh, it was gross.
You were a very mean child. Cat peeing on your dad in the car. Tripod. Your dad got peed on by a lot of different animals. Just saying. All right, let's move on to our second story, which I had mentioned at the top of GND News. This one came from, I don't even know where it was coming from, but these two dogs, there was a photo of them hugging at the shelter, and here's the story. Play that clip, Claire.
More proof now of the power of the internet. On Tuesday, a Georgia shelter posted this photo of puppy pals Kala and Kira on Facebook saying they were scared. They'd just been told that they were next to be put down if they weren't rescued by the end of the day. Well, that post went viral, and 2 hours and 6 minutes later, the adorable pair were adopted by an unnamed vet. So we're happy to hear. It's a happy ending to that story, Matt and Savannah.
Absolutely.
Picture is irresistible, Natalie. Thank you.
So that was pretty much the story in a nutshell. Reason why I chose it's such a cute little story. And I know we're actually running so much longer because of our weekly roundup. So it was a great, simple story to actually tell. I know most of you had to see it on Facebook. And it was just cool to know that, the veterinarian saw it and went out, picked them up, and now they have a home. Pretty cut and dry, not much to talk about on it. Just the story. And I just love to actually... Some stories don't need description. Some of them just are what they are.
A picture can speak 1,000 words. That's pretty much it. It's a heartwarming story. And it is unfortunate that there's so many homeless dogs and cats out there. There's so many homeless animals that need to be cared for. And it's all because of stupid humans.
It's I don't want to spay or neuter my dog.
And you know what the biggest pet peeve of mine is? Is when a male customer comes in with a male dog that is psychotic. And I suggest them, your dog will calm down and he'll actually live longer if you get him neutered. I wouldn't want anybody to neuter me. Sir, we're not talking about a human getting their balls cut off. We're talking about a male dog getting fixed so they don't pee on everything. They don't go humping everything. That they don't start spreading their seed around like nobody's business.
There are so many people that I'm thinking you're talking about, and you're actually talking about a dog.
But, men come in and the wives are like, well, can you convince my husband? I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll tell him how much of an idiot that is. Idiotic argument that is. Your argument is invalid. I'm out.
Alright, well that concludes GND News for this week. Alright, now on to our main topic, and I have to give you credit, Sarah. You're the one who brought it to my attention. I didn't actually see this, so I thought this was really cool. You want to talk about it and explain what you know?
Well, I was going through Facebook like I always do. And I'm part of a bunch of different dog sites, and so I have a bunch of different advertising for dog stuff. Most of them is just cheap products like, brush your dog with this and never have to deal with hair again, stupid stuff like that. But this one I saw, I'm like, that's cool. It's a laminated card that simply says, I have a dog home alone. If I am sick or injured, please go to this address and take care of my dog. And that will work for cats, it will work for any of your reptiles, any animal that you have at home. There's a lot of folks out there who are single and all they have is their dog or whatever animal that's in their house. And so nobody's there to take care of them when the first owner's out. Well, say this person ends up getting in a car accident. They're trying to find out who this John Doe is, and they open his wallet, and all of a sudden they see this warning thing that says, hey, look, I got animals. Please, go help them.
Right.
And it gives the people an ability to go to the house and actually feed them. Go through, of course.
I imagine animal control would probably come in and they would help out.
With escorted by a police officer, I'm sure, to make sure the animals are taken care of.
Right.
And I saw this, I'm like, oh my gosh, everybody in the world should have this.
Right.
Just in case, like say, you have multiple owners in one home that can take care of your animal if you're injured. What if they're on vacation? And you're renting a room from the person who is on vacation. And so they're gone. You're in the hospital. What about that cat that's in your room?
Right.
Who's going to change its litter box? Who's going to feed it? Who's going to make sure it's got water?
Right.
And it's just, it's fantastic. It doesn't have to be through any one.
No, there's a lot of different
company,
things. There's a lot out there. There's a lot of different websites out there that actually have this. Yeah, I thought this was cool. One thing, it's like, if maybe some of you don't know what this is, it's abbreviation, but it's ICE, ICE, and that's in case of emergency. A lot of people don't know what that means. You put that in your phone. There's an actual contact thing that's ICE, and if, say, you fall, you collapse on the street, and you're picked up by paramedics, they can look in your phone and they can see ICE to call, maybe your son, your daughter, your husband, your wife, family member, whatever. And this is not only just for, elderly. We're talking about anybody. This could happen to anybody. Well, what really makes this cool is that by having this card in your wallet, it'll also know that maybe you're a student and you're in school and you have a cat to keep you, companionship while you're, you may not actually live in a dorm. You may actually have a little room somewhere. It'll let them know to go in there and actually retrieve your cat or dog or whatever. And fish, exactly.
Fish need to eat. You gotta make sure the water stays okay for the fish.
Right. So these are things that I never thought about. I've never thought in my life about it, but we have to prepare. You could be diabetic, and you go into diabetic by. Boy, there I just got caught with I can't talk English either. Diabetic shock, and you collapse on the street, and you end up in the hospital. You can have a health condition you're not aware of, and it'll just take you away. Now, obviously, not everybody's married. Not everybody has, somebody that they live with. A lot of people live on their own. And for that, those people that live on their own usually have a pet. So, you can live in a city, and we've lived in the big city before. Most of the time, you don't know your neighbors. Most of the time.
Yeah. It's not, you don't live in, what do they call it? Mulberry?
Mayberry?
Maybe, yeah. That's not the world we live in anymore. So most people don't know their neighbors. They don't know we don't know our neighbors.
I don't.
I mean, I know there's an old man that lives next to us. Another old man lives across the street.
Yeah.
A special home that lives across the street.
Yep.
And then
we kind of know the neighbors on the other side. The lady and her kid. We know them kinda.
Kinda, but not enough to know.
I don't know her name.
I don't know her name. Yeah. And then the person who runs the special house across the street is one of my customers, so I know her.
And really,
That's it.
Was it the only way? I mean, I used to have to go over there when one of the occupants kept having a seizure, and they didn't know what to do. Seemed like
he could go outside by himself and have a smoke, and then all of a sudden he ends up on the floor.
You hear a thump, and I would be like, "I'll be right back." I'd run across the street and put him on his side while he was having a seizure. Happened all the time, actually. But what? That's another good case. You might actually be prone to seizures, and you're out one day going to get groceries, and 1 minute you're walking, and next minute you're not. In these circumstances, it's one of those things. We talk about all kinds of things that are out there. The funny part about it is, I know somebody has to be listening to this right now going, I never knew about this. This is kind of I need to go and research it. And look, there's a great deal of websites out there. Notice that a lot of them charge like $15, $16. I'm sure you could print it off yourself, laminate it, and do it for free.
I was going to say that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, say it. Go ahead, say it.
Sometimes you can print it out and then laminate and do it for cheaper.
There you go. I wish I would have thought of that. That's awesome.
I was thinking, I'm like, we're talking about how most likely we're going to have to get a sign for our grooming salon.
Oh, we haven't mentioned that yet on the podcast.
Well, it's so up in the air, it's no point. But we're talking about making a sign, the Groomer Next Door.
It'll be the Groomer Next Door salon.
Yeah, something like that. Anywho, and no, we're not breaking away from Shadowwood. It was something to do with taxes. Anywho.
Yeah, it's complicated.
But we went into
Staples,
and
they got
do
that
it for just a couple dollars.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you can get a little card made up with your dog's name, your cat's name, their age, their health problems and such, or have a couple of them made.
Right.
So that you have a few of them in your wallet. And have them laminated and cut up, and there you go.
Well, I'll tell you, there's an easy way of doing it. Go into Google. It's a real fancy website.
Called Google.
Google. Look up. Just look it up. You can find it by simply Googling, say, dog emergency wallet card, and you go into images, and you're going to find a bunch of different kinds. I mean, literally a bunch of them. And simply save it. Go into your phone. You can do all this on your phone. Type up all the things you want in there. Put it in there. Print it. Laminate it. Boom. You're done. Or, you can put it as part of your, in your phone, a part of ICE. You can write down that you have a dog somewhere in your phone. Now, the only part that makes it a little difficult now is that we all have locking mechanisms on our phones so that you can't actually access the phone unless you know the passcode, or some phones are now coming with thumbprint scanners. I think that there's even
and
now.
Honestly, there should be an override button for.
I would imagine
there
might be an override for. I don't know, and I'm not gonna tell anybody if there is.
No, I mean, like if there's like a police officer that needs to get into your phone.
I'm sure there is.
There's got to be.
There has to be.
I'm pretty sure they just call the provider and say, "Hey, I'm officer, badge number."
Unlock this. Phone. Yeah, that probably is. But these are all things that to think of. I mean, one of the sites I saw, they actually have for your keychain as well. So they'll actually send you the card and a keychain tag. Now, if you want to actually go and spend the money, I don't discourage going and spending
easier.
17. Yeah, it's easier. Spend $17, and it's done right. I mean, that's totally cool.
And you want to make sure that you keep your dog's name on it.
Yeah.
Health conditions. You can I would even put somewhere on there where the food's hidden.
Yeah.
Some people put it in a bin.
I don't know if they actually have that much detail.
Well, I would get detailed. I'm like, my dog's name's Katana. She's an American Akita, non-aggressive.
Right.
Her food's in a bin next to the stove.
Right.
So they know where to go. It says searching the entire house, trying to find the dog food.
Right.
Because some people don't put it in logical spots.
And then I just think to myself, and this is just how...
if it was like your mom, it would be in the second bedroom upstairs to the left.
Across from the third room, yeah. No, it's funny. I was just thinking to myself, this would... No, that's not what I was thinking. I was just thinking, man, this would not apply to somebody. Can you just imagine somebody has a meth lab in their house, and they end up having this, emergency dog wallet, and then all of a sudden, the police come to go to the door, they open up the door to feed the dog, and all of a sudden, hey, what is this? It's a meth lab. That could go really bad. So I do discourage anybody with meth labs to do this. Obviously, we discourage meth labs entirely, but...
Oh my gosh. Just stop.
Just stop right there.
Just stop.
Sorry, it was just this real stupid theory in my mind. I was just yeah. All right. Well, I think that concludes this week's episode of the Groomer Next Door. Next week is Victory Weekend.
Whoop, whoop. We're so excited.
Finally, we will be broadcasting from our hotel and relaxing. So we will have
the Ramada Oasis.
We will have 2 relaxed groomers.
For you.
Yep, and
saltwater pools,
and
jacuzzi.
It's Claire's birthday, so that's why we're doing it. Why we chose this weekend.
She wants Build-A-Bear.
She wants Build-A-Bear, and she wants Chuck E. Cheese and a baseball game, and we're gonna give her all 3.
Well, she also wants the sheet.
I don't know where that's at.
I don't want to get it online because it's like $50.
Well, every store has As Seen on TV, and yet nobody has this.
Folks, if anybody has seen the sheet that goes on the bed that zips the kid inside, it's like a sleeping bag. But it goes if it's like a sheet. But it's a sleeping bag. It fits like a sheet. It's got room for the pillow. It's insane.
I've never seen this.
She wants it so bad. But I can't come to spend $50 for a sheet that she just did.
I will not spend money for a sheet.
But
paper towels will work fine.
I'll spend like $40 if I can get it from a store where I don't have to pay for shipping. We're not cheap. We're on a budget.
Well, no, I'm with you. I don't like to spend the shipping and handling fees and all this other garbage.
The
I hate
we
it.
buy it, We're going to find it at Walmart in the As Seen on TV
Walmart,
aisle.
Kmart, Target, the market. How many times have you run into things as seen on TV at the market? That drives me nuts.
But yes, if anybody finds the store, just let me know.
Yeah, send us an email. thegroomernextdoor@yahoo.com.
We need help with our daughter's gift.
We know what she's getting, we just don't know where to get that.
Well, we're getting her 2 nights hotel stay,
Yep.
which is going to be split between her birthday and our victory weekend. And then
Victory!
she's getting a Build-A-Bear. I'm pretty sure she's going to get a My Little Pony.
I'm pretty sure she's going to have a My Little Pony farm by the time that's
A
over
My
with.
Little Pony and with skates on it, because she made sure it was with skates.
Yeah.
And then she wants this frisbee ball thing.
What? Yeah, okay, this is completely ridiculous. She came in the other day and was talking about a frisbee ball and how
Her and I
you and
were
Claire
geeking
are.
out- geeking out
Yeah.
over
She
it.
goes, Mommy and I want a frisbee ball. Mommy was saying, I'm gonna get this because I want to play with this too. I'm like, what are you talking about?
It's this ball thing by Nerf that you flatten it.
Wait, it's by Nerf? I thought it was just something I've seen on
No,
TV.
it's
I'm
by
worried
Nerf.
I'm worried about what you guys watch when I'm not in the room.
Thank you, TLC. Anywho,
Oh boy.
it flattens out to a thick frisbee. You throw it like a frisbee, and then it pops up to a ball. And the person you threw it to, it catches it like a ball, not like a frisbee. And then you flatten it and you throw it to the other person. They catch it as a ball.
She came to me and goes, we're going to buy this because I want to throw it on the roof and see it come down as a ball.
Because in the commercial, they flattened it, threw it up on the roof, and all of a sudden it became a ball again, and it started rolling down, so it never got stuck like a frisbee does.
Oh boy! Wow.
Whoop, whoop.
And this has absolutely nothing to do with this podcast whatsoever. So that's what's even better about it. We are completely just rambling at this point. All right, everybody. I'm Chris Green. Have a pet-tastic week.
And I'm Sarah Green, making sure everybody realizes life is so short. Play with the pet.
Claire?
Have a good day with your pet. Goodbye.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Okay, gotta go in my bedtime.
Was without doubt the worst episode ever. Rest assured that I was on the internet within minutes, registering my disgust throughout the world.